Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we will be watching a movie titled Headhunters. It's a story about a short man who's insecure of his short stature, so he has other ways to keep his tall wife happy. So let's get started. But before that, please smash the like button as it'll really help me out. Okay, let's go. Roger Brown is only 5 feet 6 inches tall and has a lavish lifestyle to compensate for all that. He is self-conscious about his height and insecure about his taller wife, Diana, leaving him for another man. In order to keep her happy, he showers her with expensive gifts and a luxurious lifestyle. He works at a recruitment firm, but in reality, he steals valuable paintings with the help of his partner, Ove, who works at a surveillance company, deactivating security systems to allow Roger to sneak into his victims' homes and replace the paintings with counterfeit replicas without detection. This criminal activity is the only way Roger has been able to maintain his facade of wealth and success. And not to mention, Roger also has an affair with a lady named Lot. However, when Lot tries to introduce Roger to her friends, he becomes irate and abruptly ends their relationship, making it clear that their relationship is not serious. But lately, Roger's expenses have been higher than what he earns from painting theft. His accountant reveals that he's on the brink of bankruptcy due to him spending a large amount of money on his wife. But Roger doesn't focus on all of this, as his one sole goal is to keep his tall wife happy, so she won't leave him. That's when he has funded his wife's new art gallery. At the opening party of Diana's art gallery, Diana introduces him to a tall and attractive Dutch businessman named Klaas Grieve. Seeing this attractive man, Roger immediately gets intimidated. Later in their conversation, Roger finds out that Klaas has recently moved to Norway after retiring from a GPS manufacturing company called Hode. Learning that Klaas might be rich, Roger offers him the prospect of being the CEO of Pathfinder, a company that also specializes in GPS systems. Klaas takes on his offer and agrees to have a meeting. Later, Roger sees his wife talking to another man and is yet again not very happy about it. Diana then introduces Roger to Breadspare, a cop who has been investigating some of the recent art thefts. It seems Bread might be suspicious of Roger, given how he keeps buying expensive stuff for his wife. Later at home, Diana shows Roger a famous painting that was stolen in 1941 and lost ever since. She then reveals that the painting is now in Klaas's possession, and he has asked Diana to evaluate it to see how much it'd be worth. When Roger asks the price, Diana answers that such a rare painting can be sold for over hundreds of millions. So almost immediately, Roger decides on stealing this painting to keep his wife happy and rich. The next morning, Diana tells Roger that she wants to have a baby. But Roger has been refusing this possibility for 7 years. So Diana gets upset over this and ends up arguing with Roger, accepting that Roger will never get her pregnant. Roger later meets Ove to tell him about Klaas and the rare painting that he was with him. Roger lays out the plan that he'll use his meeting with Klaas to find out when his apartment will be empty. During that period, Ove will disable all the security systems and help Roger steal the painting. But before that, Roger asks Ove to travel to Sweden and make a high-end counterfeit of the original painting. The following day, Roger meets Klaas to discuss the possibility of him being the new CEO of Pathfinder. Roger is just using this meeting to fool Klaas and get more information on him. Later, Roger sees the scars on Klaas's back and asks about it. Klaas then reveals that he was part of an elite group called Track, which specialized in tracking terrorists and dangerous criminals. Roger later Googles Klaas and finds out that Track is a very tough military group, awarded for their brilliant work in tracking dangerous criminals. Moreover, Klaas was able to get a job for a GPS company because of his expertise from working for Track. It seems Klaas can be a dangerous person to rob, but Roger still decides to go ahead with the plan. So after waiting for the perfect opportunity, Roger sneaks into Klaas' apartment and steals the painting before swapping it with a fake one. After successfully stealing the painting, Roger calls Diana as he hasn't even apologized to her. But then he hears a phone ring. He follows the sound to Klaas' apartment and finds Diana's phone. Roger is shocked to find that his wife was cheating on him with Klaas. When Roger gets home, he asks Diana about her phone. Diana replies that she forgot and left it at her gallery. Roger finds himself in quite a situation as he can't even confront his wife, or else she'll find out what he really does for a living. Next day, in a meeting with the representatives from Pathfinder, Klaas is seen talking about a groundbreaking micro-GPS technology. As per Klaas, this micro-GPS is in the form of jelly and is extremely difficult to remove once it gets in contact with. Meanwhile, Roger is busy thinking about how Klaas slept with his wife. After the meeting ends, Klaas is positive that he'll get the job. But Roger tells him not to get his hopes high as it's only a job interview, and many more are waiting after him. This leaves Klaas very confused as it was Roger who offered him the job. Later, Roger is stopped by Lot, who asks him to get back with her. Lot acts really desperate and tries to kiss him, but Roger immediately stops her and asks her to leave him alone. At home, Diana and Roger are still not talking to each other. Roger still hasn't confronted her, and Diana certainly feels something is off. Next morning, Roger goes to his garage and finds Ove passed out in his car. After checking his pulse, Roger confirms that Ove is dead. After further inspection, Roger finds his car seat was embedded with a poison dart. It means the dart was meant for Roger, but instead Ove got poisoned when he was trying to relocate the painting. To hide the body, Roger puts it in his car trunk. Just then, Diana shows up, embraces Roger, and tells him she loves him. After driving his car to a lake and disposing of Ove's body, Roger is shocked when Ove resurfaces alive but unconscious. Roger jumps into the lake and saves his friend. Then he takes Ove to his cabin, where Ove requests for medical attention. But Roger refuses to call the ambulance as he doesn't want the police to get involved. So Ove asks Roger to get him some milk. When getting the milk, Roger finds Ove's gun in the refrigerator and decides to keep it for his safety. When he returns back, he finds a gun pointed at him and Ove demands him to call an ambulance. When Roger refuses, Ove fires but misses all of his shots. But Roger accidentally ends up shooting and killing Ove. When trying to flee the scene, Roger gets confronted by Klaas, who happens to be following Roger through a GPS tracker. Roger immediately gets in his car and runs away from him. He realizes that Klaas must have put GPS jelly on his car. So after switching his car with Ove's, Roger ditches his car and throws away all of his clothes. He later wears Ove's spare work uniform and goes to a farm to hide. Minutes later, Klaas arrives at the farm and asks the farmer about Roger. Meanwhile, Roger sees that Klaas has followed him to the farm, and he has also brought a track dog with him. With nowhere else to go or hide, Roger decides to hide in the pit latrine. So to keep himself hidden, Roger enters the pile of shit. Klaas later opens the latrine and finds it empty. He checks the pit just in case, but Roger is completely submerged and breathing through a little straw he made out of paper. Hours later, Roger gets out and tries to get away, but his car stops working. While trying to find the tractor's keys, Roger finds that the farmer was killed by Klaas. Anyhow, Roger finds the key and goes to drive the tractor. There, he gets stopped by Klaas's track dog, which immediately starts attacking him. Following an intense battle, Roger manages to kill the dog by impaling it on the tractor's fork. After the dog's death, Roger Stills finds himself being chased. He later falls off the tractor and discovers that he was being followed by a person who only wanted to help him. Next morning, Roger wakes up in a hospital where some police officers have been waiting to question him. Afraid that Klaas might soon find him, Roger tries to run away from the hospital. But he still gets caught by the police, who arrest him on suspicion of the farmer's death. While en route to the station, the officers come across a truck that has been reported as stolen. They pull over and block the truck's path. Roger recognizes Klaas as the driver of the truck and suspects that Diana may have helped him by applying GPS gel to his hair. Roger urgently warns the officers to drive away, but they ignore him. Klaas then crashes into the police car, sending it off a cliff. The officers all get killed in the accident, but Roger miraculously survives. When Klaas approaches the car to investigate, Roger acts dead until Klaas leaves the scene. After Klaas leaves, Roger exits the car and shaves his head to remove the GPS gel. He hides the hair in a bag of chips and leaves it in the car, making Klaas believe that he really died in the accident. To further the deception, he switches clothes with a disfigured detective's body. With no one to turn to for help, Roger turns to Lot, but later discovers that she has been working for Klaas when he catches her texting Klaas about his whereabouts. When questioned about why Klaas wants to kill him, Lot reveals that it is because Roger betrayed Klaas and prevented him from obtaining the CEO position at Pathfinder. It turns out that Klaas was still working for Holt, and getting a position at the company would have brought him millions. Lot was hired by Klaas to get in contact with Roger and introduce him to Klaas. But after Roger ended his relationship with Lot, Klaas shifted his tactics and used Diana to plant a fabricated story about a rare painting. The painting was not real, and it was Lot, not Diana, who applied the GPS gel to Roger. After revealing the truth, Lot attacks Roger and tries to kill him. In the struggle, Roger shoots Lot to death to protect himself. He then goes to meet his wife and tells her about everything. Diana then also apologizes for sleeping with Klaas when she was sad. Following this, the couple set everything aside and decide to patch up. Roger then gets honest and admits that he was insecure of his height and afraid Diana would leave him. Moreover, he was afraid that after having a child, Diana would love the child more than him. That's why he never wanted a baby. Following this revelation, Diana feels extremely sorry for him. Next day, while Roger goes to the hospital to get rid of his hair that he had left in the crime scene, Diana heads back to Klaas to restart their affair. After obtaining evidence linking him to the deaths of the police officers, Roger goes to Ove's cabin to eliminate evidence of Ove's murder. But he is confronted by Klaas, who had tracked him using the hair Roger had taken away from the morgue. Klaas boasts that Diana had visited him that morning while Roger was cleaning up the evidence. When Klaas fires his gun, it only shoots blanks. Roger then quickly grabs Ove's gun and shoots Klaas. As Klaas lays dying, Roger reveals that Diana had visited him, not because she wanted him, but to replace the bullets in his gun with blanks. After Klaas's death, Roger reunites with Diana. In order to cover up all the deaths that had occurred, Roger cleverly frames it to appear as if Ove had killed Lot, and then died in a shootout with Klaas. The only potential flaw in this plan is that Ove had been dead for days, as evidenced by his forensics report. However, due to Bredspear's reputation as a top investigator, the report was not made public and the case was closed with the official report that Ove had killed Klaas and Lot. Roger returns back to a happy life with Diana and is ready to start a family. And with that, the movie ends. If you have made it till the end and enjoyed the video, please leave a like. And also subscribe to the channel to never miss out on any future videos. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next one. Lack of something to feel important about is almost the greatest tragedy a man may have.